Hey, what's going on YouTube? Easy Tech 231 here. I have here the Zeblaze Crystal $60 smartwatch. Now, if you are wondering why I'm even reviewing this, go ahead and watch my first review on the #1 Sun S2 smartwatch. Definitely watch this first. It'll give you an explanation as to why I'm reviewing these in the first place, because I normally wouldn't. So here we have the Zeblaze Crystal. This is the second of 3 smartwatches that GearBest.com is sending me. So with this smartwatch, it is quite different from the other one. We're going to take a look at that in a second. Main difference, no camera, and this is also IP65 certified, so it is water resistant. Now, let me rephrase that. It is splash resistant, so you can't really take this swimming with you. I wouldn't take this in the shower with you, but you can wash your hands with it, and it can handle a few splashes. So let's go ahead and take a look at this $60 smartwatch. So if you're wondering why I'm reviewing this in the first place, I would definitely recommend watching the first video. I'll put an annotation right here, and it'll also be a link in the description. So in the box we get the watch. Obviously we have a micro USB cable used to charge it, and we have a dock. So we're going to put the smartwatch on here, plug it into the USB cable, and we can charge the smartwatch. It's got a 280 milliamp hour battery, so it's not going to take very long to charge this thing. And underneath this flap here we have an instruction booklet, and part of it is in English, so that is nice. So taking a look at the smartwatch here, I did mess around with it earlier, so I would be a little bit more familiar with it before I showed it to you guys. We're looking at a 1.54 inch HD display, and it is slightly curved. I don't know if you can tell, but it is very slightly curved, and it's also a tempered glass display. And honestly, it doesn't look too bad in person. I believe this is a metal band around the body of the smartwatch. Not too sure how accurate that description is. It could be very high quality plastic, but nonetheless, it is very nice looking. Also, they sent me this white and gold version. It doesn't look too bad, honestly, really doesn't. But of course, you can expect this is not real leather; it's fake leather, and it is a little bit on the cheap side. But again, $60 for this smartwatch. And so on the body here, we have the speaker on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, we have the sleep-wake button. On the bottom, we have the heart rate monitor, and we also have these 4 contacts that'll connect to the ones on here. Just place it in like so, and then we can plug it in with a USB cable and it'll charge. Now, getting it out is a little bit of a chore. You also may not want to break this cradle here, because I haven't found any replacements online, so if you break this, you're probably out of luck. So make sure you take good care of that. And that's pretty much it for the smartwatch. So let's go ahead and get a closer look at what we are running here with the Zeblaze Crystal. So it boots up incredibly fast. I'm going to go ahead and hold the power button here on the right hand side. Zeblaze, and boom, we are in. So it boots up really fast, and this watch face here I have actually looks really nice with this whole watch as a whole. It's going to go ahead and attempt to connect to my smartphone. And now the one problem with this smartwatch that I did not have with the Sun S2 is that it cannot connect to my smartphones. Now I connected this to my Note 5 and my Moto X, and it did it very well, no problem at all. But this one will not connect to any of those smartphones. I did all I could, and unfortunately it just won't work at all. So I'm not too sure exactly why that is, but we're just gonna have to wait for this screen to go away. So as you might have guessed, we're not running Android Wear, we're not running watchOS. There's some sort of proprietary system here, as you can come to expect. We do get some extra watch faces here. We just long press on the screen here, and we can swipe along to get to all of these other different watch faces. I like this one a little bit. It's a little more classy, and you can kind of tell it does match up with the watch as a whole. But this one, out of all of them, probably looks the best. It's the cleanest, the most minimalistic, the most simple, and in my opinion, it just looks the best. Now, when using the Zeblaze Crystal, I did notice that it is a lot smoother than the Sun S2, and it's a lot more responsive as well. It's a very nice display, and like I said before, it is a curved display, so you kind of feel that when you're running your finger across it. Not too bad at all. Now, as I said before, I cannot connect this to my smartphone, so I wasn't able to make a call. I wasn't able to get to my call logs or my phone book, so that's a little bit of a disappointment, because I do like this smartwatch better than the Sun S2. So swiping along here, we have our remote notifier. We're pretty much getting all of the same things that we got on the Sun S2. Find my device, alarm clock, it does work as you would expect. It also has it's got a more attractive interface than the Sun S2, that is for sure. And we also have a calendar here, which is nice. I don't think we got a calendar on the other smartwatch. You have a month view, and you can swipe to switch between your months there. It does work fairly well. We also have our music. Again, we cannot test that out, unfortunately. We also have remote capture, which will allow us to take a picture using this as a shutter release and using the camera on our smartphone. We also have the Bluetooth connection. Again, I've tried over and over, cannot get it to work, unfortunately. We also have a file manager, so this is going to allow us to view all of the files here on the smartwatch. Don't have anything on there right now. We also have a pedometer. Now, this pedometer is actually very accurate. It only missed about 1 to 2 steps, and I took maybe about 75 just to test it out, and it got about 72 of them. So that's not too bad. So it does work. So that is nice. We also have a sleep monitor. I don't sleep with my watches on, and I don't know how accurate it is, but it should be just fine. So if you guys want to try that out, let me know. We also have main UI theme. So basically this will allow us to change the UI theme of the menu here. I do like the first one better, so I'm going to go ahead and change that back. Just wanted to show you guys that. We also have the sedentary reminder. So this will pretty much remind us to, get up from our desks and stretch, get the blood flowing a little bit, and you can choose the reminder time and everything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and set that back to 0 so we don't get any random notifications here, but it does work. And yeah, that's pretty nice. We also have a heart rate monitor. It is fairly accurate. Sometimes it would go off the charts and give me some random beats per minute, but it is not too bad. It is a lot better than the Sun S2. I will give it that, and just give it a little chance and it'll work just fine. So that is cool. We also have the heart rate repeat. That is pretty accurate as well. Sound recorder. Go ahead and test this out here. Testing 1 2 3. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it up to the microphone so you can hear what it sounds like.
Testing 1 2 3.
So as you would expect, not very good. It is a little bit louder than the Sun S2 smartwatch, but overall just not very good quality at all. Over here we have the quick response application. This pretty much just displays a QR code. We scan it with our phones and it'll bring us to a website allowing us to download MediaTek software, but we can get those applications from the App Store and the Google Play Store, so I'm not sure why that is there, but it is nice for a shortcut, I guess. We also have a stopwatch. It does work. It's a stopwatch. Much nicer interface comparing it to the Sun S2. You do laps and everything like that. It works just fine. We also have a calculator here. It's a calculator. You guys know what that is already. We also have DU voice. Now this has to be connected to Bluetooth, so I'm not too sure what that is. We also have our settings. Now this settings is actually very useful. We have the Bluetooth settings here. We have clock settings. You can actually change stuff here in the settings when comparing it to the S2, where you pretty much couldn't do anything. And one thing I will say is that this thing is really responsive, and the user interface is more intuitive, and it's a lot easier to use, and it makes more sense. And so that's pretty much it for the Sun S2 smartwatch. I guess I'll show you guys what it looks like on my wrist because it does fit. It does have the different sizes. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like on my wrist. So this is what it looks like on my wrist. Not too shabby, actually. It doesn't look too bad at all. We have the gold and white colorway. You can get the bands in different colors. You can interchange the bands, but I'm not too sure where you get those bands. I will have links in the description where you can find this very watch. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad. It fits well. And yeah, not bad overall. So that pretty much does it for the Zeblaze Crystal smartwatch. Again, $60 for this guy. Overall, I would recommend it if you really want to just get some notifications on your wrist and if you can get it to work with your smartphone. Unfortunately, I did not have such luck. So again, I'll put a link in the description where you can find this. I would check it out for a budget smartwatch that you can get all of your notifications on. You can do some other things like pedometer, and you can measure your heart rate. Not too bad, actually. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to smash that like button. I will be getting back to my regular flow of videos very soon. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. Later.